Human life on earth is a transit within conditioned consciousness from numerous strands of unknown, uncertain, towards that which is certain and secure. The nature of the human being is very clear, is that we are both heavenly. We are given a soul or a spirit which gives us the experience of life, and a body that has evolved over billions of years into being what it is now as Homo sapiens sapiens. Each one of us is as such a sacred being, having to respond to dualities, multiplicities, pluralities ad infinitum, the good and the bad, and attraction, repulsion, and benefit, new experience, so that we have seen the whole cacophony of activities and plays. And for thousands of years, human beings were regarding the different paths to understanding what is the real, being more or less 3, 4, 5, 6 different main avenues, such as the path of devotion, what a mother does unconditionally, what a yogi does in their prayers and in their supplication, and so on. One path that is now prevalent, and I think it will dominate, is that of oblivion, the path of presence, the path of silence, the path of being in the infinitude of now. Whatever you say now, it is gone, it's become in the past. But you feel you're about to say something, and when you're saying it, it is the now. But it's come from the unknown, unseen, and it will recede back again into the unseen. So all what you have in terms of connection with truth is the now. And the now is ever present and ever elusive. And if you can maintain it, hold it, be forever in the now, then you have touched the other zone of consciousness, which is beyond conditioned consciousness, which is perpetual, eternal, divine consciousness. It is there that you can understand the meaning and the true experience of certainty, security, eternity, all of that. In that zone, there is no good or bad anymore. There is no living or dying. It is the constancy of consciousness without being conditioned by space or time. And that is the nature of the soul or the spirit within us that provides us with this amazing gift of life. The whole story is about life. And our main concern is to preserve it, is to care for it. That's why we want good health, we want wealth, we want well-beingness, we want good company, we want peace, in order for life to continue within us. And as such, each one of us is a host, in order to maintain that life, which is like a flame. Once a flame has occurred in the fireplace, then you have to feed it, to look after it, not too windy, not too cold, not too hot, so that it continues. And that's like life. So that it continues enabling me to have the experiences due to consciousness. So, in truth, whatever we are doing is obsession with life and total dedication to serving, preserving, conserving life. All what there is life as the main first emanation of the divine. And we are at all times, directly, indirectly, and otherwise, serving that reality. And it is through that that we attain true faith, belief, and trust. You trust that life is there all the time. But once it has taken root in an entity, like in me, it has a beginning and an end. So as far as timelessness, as far as ongoingness, boundlessness, there can't be an entity. It is just an ongoing reality. So the so-called I as an entity has a beginning and an end. During that time, it has experienced the ongoingness of life. And through intelligence, through reflection, through oblivion, through total silence and transcendence, you will discover that life is the only real, eternal truth in anything to do with existence. And you've been in every way given that full connection, and a time comes when you don't have that connection. But life continues, and those connections continue. But the identity is no longer anymore. So the reality is forever. If during that time, whilst you are still alive, still accepting, reconciling, dealing with your identity, during that period, you realize that your reality and your experience of life is not subject to your life. It is part of life itself, which is eternal. That is where you will gain, through worship, through trust, through faith, the experience of total security. Because we are all the time concerned about the future. Will I be better tomorrow? Will I be all right after death? What is the nature of life after death? And on and on and on. Life doesn't recognize birth or death. Life is life, and it is the earthly experience of duality that brings about for us this constant aspect of the shift between here and not here, now and later, alive and dead. Each one of us contain a divine light, an entity within the heart, which illumines everything else, the darkness of the darkness, and all emanating from the light of lights, which is your own soul or spirit. Once you know that the two of you, the eternal light, soul or spirit, and the human element that is its temporary home, that once you understand this and you dwell upon it, you reflect upon it, then you are getting ready now for the next phase of consciousness after death. We are in a process, and nobody can change it. All what we can do is to accept it, submit to it, realize it, celebrate it. So death becomes an ultimate celebration, that it's a natural flow from the visible, tangible identity towards a vaster, greater, and not conditioned, if you like, reality. That is where you, in every way, you become truly content, beyond the duality of content and non-content. You have now transcended by grace that which is yes and no to that other zone of consciousness, higher zone of consciousness, from which everything emanates, including our human consciousness. And there may be millions of other consciousnesses like it, all emanating from the same infinitude. And that's all what there is in reality. And some people call it the divine, others God, whatever. That's all what there is in reality. Not I and God. That there are shadows shielding it, and there are paths that we can move along to ignore all of the side effects and the noises until such time you find all of these noises and sounds and experiences and mental images and realities, physical, material, biological, physiological, psychological, all emanating from that. And then you've touched the gate of eternal truth that's ever present, and it is through that all other experiences that we can swear they are real and they are true emanate from.